test how good my predictive abilities are.
Well, if we consider our past prediction skills, well, we'll see. Let's put it this way. We will see. Anyways, we are starting into our first map of our best of 5 and this evening. It is Cafe best of 5, so only in the first map. But I am super pumped. We're starting off with the ban phase. LALOOSANCE starting on defense. They are going to start with their attacker ban. And it will be a Thatcher. Who would have thought?
I mean,
Thatcher,
I'm
of course.
1 for 1 so far. 1 for 1. Let's go.
1 for 1. Let's go. So, I mean, Thatcher definitely makes sense on this map. I mean, you have to consider when you play Thatcher, the EMP grenades have quite a big range, and you can just toss them, for example, onto the ceiling, and they disable gadgets on the actual bomb spot in the top floor. So, of course, getting rid of that definitely makes sense. But we also have a counter ban, and it is going to be a bug. Something I wouldn't have guessed, but we did see a bug on this map ban already in the past.
Yeah, Buck, really powerful. There's lots of vertical destruction that can come through. It forces you to use a sledge or use some of that Ash and Zofia utility if you want to use those vertical angles. So a Buck was still, I think, pretty unorthodox, not necessarily the wisest use, but it still brings a lot of potential. There we go, seeing the Wamai. So I'm still on track for a 75% prediction rate at this point in time.
I mean, yeah, last ban is going to come in any second, but definitely so far the bans are quite default. So, of course, from our side, I would personally not expect something too crazy, except the last ban is crazy as well. It is a Mira. I mean, makes sense, but it is nothing crazy. But we also did see Mira actually being played on Cafe, so we see Cafe both with and without. Kind of makes sense. I mean, Mira, very strong operator, and Cafe actually has some decent spots to play with your Mira shield.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to be seeing how you're going to play without those operators now as well. That pixel spot is going to probably be brought into play as we're seeing a Jaeger be brought out, and we're going to be going to that third floor bar. We're also seeing a Goyo get picked. Goyo still kept 2 of his shield, well, both of his shields, so it's quite likely we'll see one of them invested over towards that pixel spot. Using Goyo is generally pretty dangerous.
I mean, we'll actually see the Goyo
never mind then.
going to a 6-8. Will he actually? Yes, he will go to a Legion. Makes sense. If you have a roster attacking you like Sleepy Gang, which is quite aggressive, and they can, of course, it's Cafe, right? If you take the top floor, you don't have that much to take. It's harder to get map control, but if you have map control, you're almost on the bomb side. I mean, let's just look at Piano. We see it right from above. If you have Piano, you have quite an easy time getting into Freezer, or at least looking into the bomb side, and of course pushing in as well. So getting a Legion in play definitely makes sense. Also, of course, combined with Majestic playing on Maestro, you have more information. Blaz on Melusi, you have a lot of information where you can then play based on.
Yeah, and that Maestro Melusi combo that gives you 5 extra bits of utility that the attackers are going to need to destroy. Now, while they do have both an Ash and a Zofia, that's all 5 of their destructive rounds gone just to get rid of those 2 operators. They kind of neatly cancel each other out, but when you've got ADSs as well protecting, that can still continue to burn up more of Sleepy Gang's utilities. We're going to have to see how that works out here between the two, and whether LALOOSANCE have the utility correctly set up, as we are entering everyone's favorite stage of Cafe, the 30 seconds it takes to get forward.
Exactly, and we did see MFC already playing quite aggressive, picking into the spawn, but luckily no one did get hurt yet, for the sake, of course, of Sleepy Gang. But, I mean, it could be a massive factor if you get an opening frag, because we all know how Cafe is played, and if you consider that we only have 1 hard breacher, might be a big deal, of course, to get him quite early on. Blaz playing below on red stairs, below the hatch, could actually be rewarded with a kill quite soon, because we do see Zofia pushing in. Not sure who will win gunfight. No, it's so close. It's still so lucky that they don't see each other, but they're just waiting for another to peek into their line of sight. As we can see, if they're going to look at that, what this is going to get them a jiggle or a laughter out of their face.
Fight going down on the red stairs. Blaz is going to get the first kill, taking the head off of Easy. So a decent start there, and that's actually the hard breacher gone already. And losing a lot of HP over by the stage is the Nomad, but still going to stay alive for the time being. LALOOSANCE evening out the man count, but not gaining a lot of control for it, as Blaz had to rotate away immediately afterwards.
And the diffuser was dropped on Redstars, but could have been already gotten back into the hands of the attackers. 1 minute, a little bit more than a minute left on the clock, and so far the attackers only gain control over Piano and Cigar. They still have a lot, of course, to go, and also to drain the Maester camps and, of course, the rest of utility spread throughout the bomb site. And this is going to be a tough one if you just consider the amount of utility laid down on the bomb site. Azen going in for quite an aggressive push. At the same time, MFC shuts down NZT, but the refrag is there onto MFCG, just shuts him down. Blaz is rewarded with a kill as well, but also a second refrag there right after from Djus. 2v1 situation. It's only Djus to clutch it off for Sleepy Gang, but he doesn't have much HP left. 30 seconds. He does have the diffuser now, but his position is revealed to the defenders. Will be able to pull this off. 23 seconds left, so he can definitely work with but two defenders, to peek his way. Alda in hand. Maestro doesn't want to let it go, but Slaz is the one to shut it down, and LALOOSANCE takes the first round of our best of 5.
Yeah, and I think that kind of just goes to show again that utility meta, or that sort of the impact of the utility, is still in play despite all of the destructive capability that we saw on the side of Sleepy Gang. We still had Maestro cams up at the end to slow them down, deny that push, and provide intel. And it's, you know, people are saying this might be an attacker-sided meta. It really comes down to how careful the defenders are when it comes to using it, and how considerate the attackers are when it comes to destroying other individual pieces. So good job there by LALOOSANCE. That was a very nice setup that they had going on, not overextending themselves. I mean, the Legion inside of Freezer going for the repeat with the pistol was a little bit of a bold move, you know. Potentially should have held back for a second and let the fight come to him. But all in all, I think LALOOSANCE did a very good job on that defense, especially making up after losing that initial player. And I think now we're going to see them go and defend downstairs. And may I remind you, this is all new territory. We've never seen LALOOSANCE play this map.
So one thing I want to question, though, because we didn't question it in the pre-show, is who do we think is going to win?
I mean, I think we all sort of discussed this before we got into the actual broadcast itself, but I think we're all pretty confident that Sleepy Gang are going to win. Obviously, LALOOSANCE having Blaz and the changes to Sleepy Gang's lineup means that things are pretty up in the air, but I'm still going to have to give it to Sleepy Gang.
Well, speaking of our prediction, Caster's curse. Never ask our casters for a prediction. It doesn't end well. So you just predicted Sleepy Gang to win.
I'm sorry.
Let's see how this will play out. Perfectly fitting timing here.
To all the Sleepy Gang fans out there, I apologize profusely. I mean, there should be a stat for all of my predictions, because I don't think I've gotten many right. That would be a pretty interesting number.
But actually, it's something good for the teams, because it shows that they're not quite predictable, right? That we can't really tell from what we see if they're actually doing the ordinary you would expect, or if they're going to surprise us. So the surprise factor is still in play, even though we know how Cafe is played, right? You know where people are going to sit, where you have to, you know, encounter some aggressive defenders or not. But they still are able to surprise us, which is, in my opinion, worth quite a lot.
Yeah. Definitely being able to mix things up sort of just within your own lineup and your own setup is pretty important. And I'm actually liking what we're seeing coming here through from LALOOSANCE. They've invested a little bit of utility to open up above trains, so that if we just saw Sleepy Gang go for a straight lateral execute onto the site, they'll be able to capture onto it. But that's not going to be the case. It's going to be 2 quick kills going the way of Sleepy Gang, Ash and Zofia collecting one apiece, and that's going to be Mowgli and Blaz to fall down first. 2 really impactful players. I mean, we saw Blaz get a 3k in the very first round, not to speak of the work he did for the team last time around. That's going to be impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. That is definitely going to have a massive impact throughout the later game, because now we're hitting the last minute, the time where the attackers do have to hit the bomb side and open up line of sights, kill more players, and get the diffuser down. But we also still see defenders throughout the map spread widely, and MFC is also rewarded with a kill, just because he can still be in his position next to the front door in the main lobby area. For the moment, Strong has to he has to confess that angle, and Strong is also able to take care of that. So one more defender off the board. 5v2 situation. Aizen also takes care of Majestic. 4v1 situation, sorry. And there we go. Slaz has to clutch if they want to take the second round as well. Drones are coming out, so he is revealed. The information for the attackers is there to play with. The question is, will they be able to execute based on that? For the moment, we do see Slaz staying alive, but there you go. The kill is there. Easy is able to take it for his team, and the direct counter 1-1 is there.
Yeah, and well, good cleanup coming through that time around by Sleepy Gang, being able to win those initial 1v1s. Blaz was playing close to the red stairs and lost his life to the Zofia, and Ash and a lot of good drone work coming out from the whole team, able to isolate and eliminate that Jaeger without wasting too much time. I do feel that the kitchen take is generally where a lot of attacking teams stumble with their time management. They can get really invested in clearing those top 2 floors and then spend they'll spend like 2 minutes clearing the top 2 floors, and they'll have a minute to try and scramble together and execute to pull onto the site itself, where that's where the majority of the utility is going to be placed by the defenders. But we didn't see that come through. Sleepy Gang able to get those early frags and just capitalize on it, keep the momentum moving without overextending, getting themselves caught out. All in all, a very strong job coming through from the attacker Sleepy Gang there on what is still an incredibly defender-sided site.
Yeah, definitely. And something you already, talked about a little bit, but I just want to go more in depth into that. Considering how much time they wasted in the top floor, they knew they had to be more aggressive throughout the mid of the round. So throughout, minute number 2, and they did so. So they got control over reading with no time. They just slayed through there. They knew they had to be aggressive and face check, and they did so. So definitely something you should highlight as well, because lacking of time is a massive factor, but teams of course can also make up for that in the right way. But it always comes with the downside. If you're too aggressive, you might risk something without actually needing to risk something. But of course here it was a calculated risk, so it makes sense, and therefore it did work as well. But of course, going into the next round, we do things switched up once again. Different bomb site. It is reading and dining. So let's see how the attackers are going to be able to clear out the top floor for now.
Yeah, the big thing for me here is that, with the changes that Sleepy Gang have made, it's being able to make sure that they're still functioning properly as a unit. So, I mean, we kind of saw that come through in the last round. Lots of very good droning, everyone doing their own job, and I think we're actually seeing, so in that last round, it was actually a team ace. Everyone on the team was able to collect a kill. So the Sleepy Gang, they're incorporating these new members well so far, but as time goes on, it might start to work against them, and that still remains to be seen. For the time being, though, they're already making very good time so far in this round. Lots of pressure inside of Train, and starting to apply onto Fireplace itself. Blaz up above, going to throw an impact out to distract some attention for the time being, because he knows that the players down below are going to have to at least take a stronger consideration as to his position.
And definitely, of course, that might have an impact, because now they know they have to clear the top floor, and Blaz actually will be getting shot at, and the grenade flies as well. But Blaz does dance around the pole, but Aizen finally is able to get him. But Aizen has to be aware that there's one more defender upstairs, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, it could be that he already rotated back, but I don't think that is the case. No, we just see it there. Mozzie is still in the top floor, so he's still contesting that. Jaeger at the same time is falling back to side. Majestics is with a kill onto Djus. That was Sophia peeking a little bit too aggressively into him. MFC in the top floor will be downed. Probably kill secure coming down soon as well. Easy collects the frag onto Majestic. One more around the corner as well. Mowgli is able to finish off NZT, but the revive from Mowgli is there onto his teammate MFC. 2 last defenders, both really low on HP, but the diffuser is going down at the same time. So time is now ticking absolutely against them.
Yeah, got to try and push on through and get this execute. Strong able to get another kill on that repel position, and now it's all up to MFC in a 1 versus 3, and well, it's not going to happen. Just Strong on that window. It's a very strong position to hold. That was a cheap one. I won't do that one again. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. It is one, of course, of the strongest positions to hold your diffuser, and it might be OP, but let's not forget about the fact this is your ticket to our grand finals, right? I think whatever you have prepared, whatever you can imagine, you will try to pull off, because there's no second chance to get into the grand finals. This is the best of 5 to either get you a ticket into our best of 5 grand final, or it is your ticket to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, and sort of just to speak a little bit more about that window position, it's really strong. It gives you a great line of sight between the two sites, because quite often teams won't play inside of the fireplace. They'll choose to stay back inside of reading and use smokes and C4s to deny plants that go down inside a fireplace. But those lines of sight that you open up to be able to do that then expose you very heavily to the window. Now, the window itself can be countered from lots of different angles, running out from the piano stage window and looking left as you hit the balcony, coming out of the lower white door. They're all potential angles that can be used against you if the defenders are willing to commit to it and they know that there isn't that or utility out there to deny them from being able to get that kill. Another change that came in with the season is a faster expose time, so you're only able to stay outside for a second before the attackers know where you are, which makes some of the more risky plays to try and get rid of that player on that window and now no longer viable. And that's going to mean that Sleepy Gang and whoever's on the attack is going to be able to use it more, but Blaz, well, he doesn't really care about what's safe, what's sensible. He's just going to go and peek and actually down easy. Wasn't able to finish the kill off, but Heartbreach is going to be on 20 HP for the rest of the round.
And also, that was a big play. I wanted to say something else, but I think you can imagine what I wanted to say. He was standing in the middle of a barricade. He could have been shot so easily. He did not show any fear. He went for that spawn peak. He did get easy ace downed, but no kill confirmed. So lucky for Sleepy Gang that their only Harbinger could stay alive. But of course, now he's only on 20 HP, which could make a big impact later on, especially since we have Maestro in play, and of course C4 still in play as well.
Yeah. And I mean, generally when you're spawn peeking, you look either to the left or the right when they're coming round wide, but just staring straight down the middle at where players who go up to counter the spawn peek go is pretty bold play to come through. But I mean, it's not going to slow down Sleepy Gang's execute too much, as we already see them inside. MSC's going to get one though. Mowgli's going to follow it up with another, and now this man advantage and health advantage is going even further in the side of LALOOSANCE. Easy still on 20 points of HP. MFZ is down to less than that, but there's a man advantage of 2 for the time being. As the MFZ, he's still taking his position. He actually gets the down. It's going to be Slaz to finish off strong, and it's still a 5 versus 2, technically a 4 versus 2 with MFC down on the floor, and we see Mowgli able to get the revive off.
MFC will remain down as Easy collects Mowgli. Majestic, though, is able to refrag onto Easy. It's up to DJs, and Majestic does not allow that, of course. With the Elder in hand, he just collects that frag, and we do see in chat, we do get asked for a rehouse, which potentially should. There we are back in the game, ladies and gentlemen. It took us a while, but technical issues are still, of course, a thing. And of course, as we mentioned before, competitive integrity is super important for us. So we want to have it fair, and if you call for a rehouse, you shall be granted one, if of course according to our rules. But we will head straight back into the next round. Round number 5 is just ahead of us.
Yeah, and well, it was a little bit ago now, but we did see LALOOSANCE pull off another successful hold of that 3rd floor bomb site, and now they're going to be going back downstairs. Now, when they were down here, we did see Blaz again get aggressive on the roam, but was this time picked off, and it wasn't as successful. We also saw, I believe it was Mowgli inside of Reading Room, lose his life within sort of the middle phase of the round. So the big thing for me looking into this round is making sure that LALOOSANCE are able to keep at least 4 of their players alive by the time it comes down to the last 45 seconds, to be able to really hold onto the site effectively and, deny the entry, because we're not seeing use of a smoke come through or a Maestro. We're relying on the C4s of Majestic and Slaz to really, and even MFC, to really slow down and prevent this very final push.
I mean, exactly as you mentioned, LALOOSANCE has to win more defenses. So far, they were only able to pull off Bar and Cocktail twice, of course. That's why they have 2 points. But both Kitchen and Reading have been lost. If they are not able to secure these 2 rounds now, which are ahead of us, which first now is going to be the Kitchen bomb side, they would be down 4-2 on a technically defender-sided map. at least by a slight bit for now in CCS. And this is something you can't risk. You definitely at least want to go into a 3-3, if not even, of course, better, with an advantage for your own side. So we do need to see now a lot of songs people stick more to the bomb side, defend that more thoroughly, but still, of course, drain more time off the attackers and, you know, shut down the aggressivity of Sleepy Gang.
Yeah. And, absolutely, LALOOSANCE won't be able to go back up and defend that top floor bomb site. They're going to have to really make sure that their hold of these other two bomb sites that they've already played so far becomes much more effective. This time around, though, we're not seeing Sleepy Gang go for that top-down clear. They are instead just doing a lateral push on in through Bakery. They've brought the Maverick, which is going to make it easier for them to open up the walls despite the mute jammers that are in place. So it's just making sure that they do a very quick job of this and to make it go pretty smoothly, so they have enough time to challenge the actual defenders inside the site.
Interesting already to see the defenders gather throughout small Bakery. Also Blast collecting a frag there, and Red Stairs. They are still contesting Bakery even without being in Bakery, and the pressure is increased. As you can see, Izzy now brings up his drone because they're afraid of course, more people pushing them, and ZT also rotating to small Bakery window. They should be aware of that factor, because with Bakery only you don't have much control. Easy is able to rehook onto Slash, takes mute out of the board. T4 goes flying, doesn't connect, just hits a little bit of damage off the board. More utilities flying into the bomb site. Majestic has to be really certain that he wants to stay alive. He will not be more alive, as Aizen is able to finish him off with that cooked grenade.
Sleepy Gang now have the advantage of the 4 versus 3 with quite a lot of time available for them to go for this final execute. They do still have to worry about holes up above that LALOOSANCE created before, but it's not going to be too much of an issue as NZT is going to get the kill onto Mowgli. They're starting to invest a bit more time and utility into taking this upstairs as they're aware of the power that these holes possess. But that means it's only Blaz left alive inside the site. If he goes down, that's the entire site over in the hands of the attacker. Smokehouse is going down. MFC doesn't have the right holes. He's being denied access into train by the player on the window there, and we see Blaz go down. Nice shot by Aizen. Means that Easy's going to be able to get the plant down successfully, trying to throw the C4. Aizen with the next kill. That's Sleepy Gang now getting round number 5 in our first map here.
If I'm not mistaken, it was either a 3K or a 4K from Aizen. He definitely is pulling off a massive job for himself and his team, but especially without having that early frag advantage, they could pull this off. It shows how strong the Bakery take still is, even with the current meta. I would say even more with the current meta, because as we saw, we can burn an ADS and chuck a nade in right after, and you will 100% get a kill guarantee.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a very well-placed nade right on the money. The Pulse trying to stay close. That C4, wait, he'd already used the C4 up by that point, but if you're able to stay close there, the attackers can't really push in. It's a difficult spot to challenge unless you have a perfectly cooked frag nade landing right on top of them. But, I mean, LALOOSANCE again losing that downstairs bomb site. They're again going to go straight up to reading dining, not try it out for a second time in a row, and well, Sleepy Gang now sitting poised to potentially take this 4-2.
And that just once again proves how heavily the meta is impacted throughout this new patch. I mean, just changing one operator can change maps. It just shows how valuable, especially certain operators can be. I mean, on attack, for example, it's also attack operators, not only defensive operators. I mean, just imagine how impactful the Hibana change can be in the future.
Yeah. I mean, Hibana on Clubhouse now is just an absolute force to be reckoned with, and I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a lot more Hibana bans coming through. But then, that also starts to translate onto other maps, as Hibana's still got a lot of use there. So, I mean, I'm just waiting for teams to adapt and understand the way that this new meta can be used is gonna be a pretty exciting set of developments.
Absolutely. So far, we're heading into our last run for LALOOSANCE on defense, the last chance for them to go into a tie round wise, or for Sleepy Gang to go into a heavy lead 4-2 on attack. So far, it looks quite good for the attackers, but also for the defenders, because we do see heavy top floor hold, 2 people being fully invested in the top floor, someone also in trains to, deny the push where it earlier came from. But we also see a lot of dronage in the top floor, and the piano windows are being confessed and attacked, but Mowgli has to be aware that there's not only one window. So as soon as more people pick into him, he might die eventually sooner or later, but at least for the moment he's able to delay some time. 1 minute, more than 1 minute actually, is already off the board for the attackers, and it looks like this defense could actually be working out just because of the fact well the top floor is held.
Yeah, they were holding the top floor last time they defended here, but it wasn't as aggressive. It was very much a passive hold, all the way situated back by Cocktail. So when Sleepy Gang decided to go for a train push, it was almost completely ignored. This time around, with Mowgli being aggressive inside a piano, it's doing a lot more work. Majestic, though, able to get that C4 kill after open up the fragging in this round, as we see Diju gonna pick up one for his own team. Blaz trading out immediately, so we're still seeing man advantage in favor of LALOOSANCE, and Blaz, again, still trying to be aggressive. A lot of drones being lost by Sleepy Gang, though, which is going to throw the intel game heavily in the favor of LALOOSANCE as we approach this final minute.
50 seconds left on the clock, at least a little bit more for the moment, and the attackers do have to make the next move now. Majestics is able, though, to catch NZT off guard and to select the kill onto him. Diffuser is dropped as Easy will be down. Aizen has to pull it off now. He will face Blast eventually soon. Or Mowgli, actually. It was Mowgli. He is going to face him soon. No, it was Blaz. What am I saying?
Mowgli got the down on the player inside of Train, so when Blaz killed Aizen, Mowgli's kill showed up second. But, I mean, that was a good defense from LALOOSANCE. And I think quite a lot of that came down to Mowgli was able to play and deny a lot of that intel upstairs. And again, Blaz being a little aggressive around that sort of mining area without overextending and losing his life unnecessarily.
Exactly, and I love the adaptation coming in from LALOOSANCE. Seeing that they need to play more aggressive, especially in the top floor. As you mentioned, Jaeger playing much more aggressive in piano was needed so much, and they pulled it off as needed. It just shows that the teams can read into situations quite well and adapt their own playstyle, which was needed. As I said, now we have a tie, but it could have been a heavy favorite advantage for Sleepy Gang 4-2. Luckily, LALOOSANCE is able to adapt and could score the tie, and now they're on attack. I mean, we talked about this potentially being an attacker-sided map in the future, depending on how well you can counter Jaeger now. It might go very much so in favor of LALOOSANCE, I'm inclined to say.
Yeah, the only sort of counter to that is that Sleepy Gang were the ones to ban out the Wamai. So the Sleepy Gang went into this expecting to be down on that bit of utility. They might have setups more designed around just having a lot of other utility. We're already seeing the Goyo come through. We're seeing Kaid as well. Echo, still a pretty impactful operator, can delay a lot of time. So I think the Sleepy Gang maybe had a little bit of an advantage in terms of the strategy and the operator bans. We don't know how prepared LALOOSANCE were for this map, but judging by the standard bans of Thatch and Mirror and not bringing out anything particularly spicy, I would expect that they're not particularly expecting anything too crazy, or they're going to play it in any specific way. But for the time being, we're just seeing Strong already inside a bakery. A lot of pressure coming his way. His shield's already destroyed, and his ADS, well, it's already recharging at this point in time, but they really want to get rid of him nice and early. Easy getting through a lot of Hibana charges as well, as they're just being positioned on this wall, ready for him to shoot. They're not doing anything to get the smoke out of this position.
For the moment, he could actually still remain in his position at the bottom of red stairs and deny even more Hibana Excura pallets to be placed there. And it wouldn't be that hard to get rid of Jaeger or Smoke, sorry, in that position, but there's no focus from LALOOSANCE on that, so could be looking good for Sleepy Gang. For the moment, Slaz, though, gets the shot onto Strong. Landed. Diju is able to refrag 1v1 tied to loses. DJs is able to refrag onto Majestic, though, which brings us back with a favor onto Sleepy Gang, though Slaz is able to chuck in a nade, but also Blast follows up with a frag for himself. So advantage now on LALOOSANCE side, 3v2, but we still have a lot of defenders on the bomb site and echo drones in place, so there could still be some denial later on. But for the moment, Mowgli will shut down DJs, and it's only Jaeger, it's only Echo, and it's only Aizen left alive. Mowgli tries to plant the diffuser, 2 seconds remaining for that, and still control over Redsters, so he definitely has to push into the bomb site without any chance, as Slash shuts him down in the act of rotating back to site.
Yeah, and just a strong execute coming through from LALOOSANCE. They did a good job of, well, forcing the Jaeger out of his position. They wasted quite a few Hibana charges in doing so, and a couple of flashbangs, but the Jaeger was actually forced to rotate into prep. A nice swing coming through from Slaz to kill him off, so they have that control over the front side of the site. Dijou did a good job of it himself, trying to collect a couple kills, but all in all, just the power and the pressure coming through from LALOOSANCE there in that attack, much better than what I expected to see. And something else I wasn't expecting to see is we're actually going to have Sleepy Gang choose to defend downstairs for the second time in a row.
Okay, that is definitely interesting. I mean, we did see the bomb site mainly, of course, falling through that, or due to that bakery take. Maybe they're going to invest more utility and more personnel, if you want, so more people there, but it's quite hard to defend it properly, because basically all you can do safely is play behind that counter there with a shield prep with maybe an ADS stack there, or a second one, as we see Strong just putting a second one there. But even then, it only needs 2 flashbangs to drain them. This is the current meta, ladies and gentlemen. You only need 2 flashbangs to drain these ADSs there. The only thing which could protect you is someone playing more aggressive in kitchen prep, which I guess we're going to see. Otherwise, it could be quite a hard one for Sleepy Gang to pull this off as they wish to.
Yeah. Now, something else to note. So while we say LALOOSANCE has never played Cafe, Sleepy Gang has played Cafe 3 times. They have won all 3 times, including when they went up against Dead Inside, and that was a 7-4 finish, where they won 5 rounds on their attacks. So Sleepy Gang, not at the same sort of output that we saw from them last time around, definitely looking a little bit more unsure and struggling, which is almost to be expected due to the operator changes, but the player changes. But when we come to the defense, the strategies, as you mentioned, these are strategy heavy maps, and you can teach someone strategy in a relatively short amount of time. So when it comes to defenses, this is where we need to see a little bit more of that fight back coming through from Sleepy Gang. And I mean, these are the rounds that they need to win. They need to start making an early impact here.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't see that same level of early aggression, especially spawn peeking aggression from Sleepy Gang, as we did see from LALOOSANCE earlier. So kind of maybe giving away something or being afraid to lose early on. Echo currently using his drones to spot like you would usually do, because of course you have to acknowledge Echo is not the same one as he used to be before. His drones are visible when they are attached to the ceiling, so it's more of an intel operator to, you know, scout the map than actually a plant denial operator in the current meta. 1 minute and 30 seconds off the board. So far, the attack looked quite good. They are not playing the same bakery attack. They're playing vertically from above, as you would love to see. This is a beautiful take where we usually would use a bug, but bug being banned means, of course, you have to invest other utility, which is in this case, of course, breaching charges, ash breaching rounds, and whatnot. And of course, let's not forget about our friend Sledge.
Well, our friend Sledge is going to try and throw some nades down. One gets caught in an ADS, who's going to follow up immediately after, and well, all it's going to do is destroy the ADS. As easy, he's just able to sit here, remain close. The shotgun in hand is not necessarily the ideal weapon for this kind of range, but it is keeping Blaz at bay for the time being, as the president of NZT close by to assist should a swing come through. But this Goyo is in a bit of a precarious position, relying a lot on the swings from his teammates to come through, as we see Aizen go for a swing to start things off as he gets the kill onto Slaz. He loses his life to Majestic, but starting to push down the stairs is Majestic. He actually gets the kill onto NTT. Blaz has also got the kill onto Easy, so now we're in a 2 versus 4. Sleepy Gang falling apart on this downstairs defense.
Luckily, though, for the defenders, they still have control over the bomb site. Strong is able to frag onto Majestic. Strong gets a second onto Blaz. Teaches as well. They might bring it back as well. What happened? Sleepy Gang pulled this off in a 2v5 manner.
Just, I mean, they were falling apart with 20 seconds left to go, and then Strong just showing up, getting the kills, and Sleepy Gang somehow able to win that one? What?
I mean, massive thing coming in here, of course, is time. I mean,
Hmm.
obvious, right? I'm not trying to say the obvious facts, but the attackers invested so much utility and time into clearing the top floor, playing vertical, and then getting into bar downstairs and clearing the two players there, which worked successfully, but it costed them so much time. Then, if they whenever they actually then tried to hit the bomb site and attack that directly, they only had 25 seconds left. And then the defenders were in the perfect positions. For example, Jaeger in small bakery rotating then to bakery to hold the long angles and the crossfires. Because what are the attackers going to do? They can't just play it off time, sit and wait, or chuck in more utility because they don't have the time for that, and they also don't have the utility for that anymore.
Yeah.
That was so well played by Sleeping in the end by the last two players, but time management was quite poor on LALOOSANCE's side.
True. I mean, LALOOSANCE did a good job of, getting those opening kills, creating the opportunities for themselves, especially that sort of the three defenders who are all situated around that sort of VIP Kojak area to be able to successfully and quickly deal with them when they went for the push was quite impressive to see. The issue is that they took too long to get to the point when they went to the push. If they had done that, say, 10-15 seconds earlier, I doubt we would have seen that same struggle that we saw towards the end, and LALOOSANCE could potentially be sitting up now 5-3.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're heading into our top floor bomb side, and finally we're seeing that, but we're seeing it actually in a different variation, because we do see Ella playing in Cigar, which, might die to a chucked grenade, but protected by an ADS. Be aware, only one grenade at the time can be caught with the current meta. But Ellis remains aggressive, and with the shotgun in hand, she could do so. But MFC has that grenade, which I was talking about a second earlier, in hand. But there's still Castle in play. And Castle shuts down the rotation from Cigar into Piano, which, of course, is one more time waste. Aizen playing quite aggressive next to the hole, which has been opened by Hibana a second ago and has to rotate back, but he is actually able to do so and also shuts down Mowgli, was repelling on the window. Blast then though able to refrag as he tries to get behind that shield, of course, which is exposed to White Stairs.
Yeah, Blazo, now he's got all of this control over Piano, trying to peek round up close, easy, not letting it happen, swinging with that shotgun. It's going to take down the Hibana, and that's, well, the only bit of ranged hard breach available for LALOOSANCE. Slaz, for some reason, that Cigar Vault just isn't working at the moment, so you're not going to be getting any luck trying to get behind the counter, but he's still going to be hanging around here, getting those drones up. We're hearing more frag nades be used and thrown on into the bathroom to try and force Easy out of his position, but he's at just a decent enough range to not be affected by it. The shotgun at this distance would still be affected, but it's the player on White Stairs that's slowing down LALOOSANCE for the time being. 2 quick kills, so a misthrown frag nade. MFC has to get even more aggressive down White than I think he wanted to, but it's going to work out as he's going to get the swing onto Easy, not expecting someone to be all the way down by the pallets already. I mean, a little bit of chaotic at the end there, but LALOOSANCE, that attack looked pretty clean. They had that execute down to how they wanted it to work, and it did just work.
Exactly. But the thing is, you called it a little bit messy. I would like to highlight how could the defense fall that easily without any problem, because it was 50 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, left on the clock, 3-3 situation. You still had the beneficial positions to play behind. You weren't, pushed away from your safety spots. So the peaks we did see coming, which fell in favor of the attackers, were only one, because you peaked too aggressively into a situation where you didn't need to peak. I understand, for example, the peak on White Stairs, this is necessary because you need to protect the smoke in bathroom, so you have to peek once in a while to check, is there an attacker? Can I shut him down? What else am I needed to do? Whatever, is there a drone? Can I shoot that? So that makes sense, but the defense fell too quickly, in my opinion. Like, you can play this differently, if I'm inclined to say so.
Yeah. as we look at that stat, through 9 rounds, the team that has won the opening duel has won the round 8 of those 9 times. I think that's pretty impressive. We did see a little bit on Thursday where the opening duel didn't really make much of a difference. It sort of came down more to what side the team was on. But here, again, we're seeing just how impactful those opening kills can be and gaining that early man advantage. And LALOOSANCE, I mean, they're winning in the round so far, so they've obviously been doing a very good job of getting those opening frags. And I think that's a trend that we might continue to see, as we've already got Blaz crouch walking up round stairs.
Yeah, important adaptation done here from Sleepy Gang is not putting Ella in the same position, which in my opinion also was a little bit of a missed try there. I mean, this is something you have to consider with the current meta. You can't play on a spot the same way you did before. You can play longer there because your ADS is going to recharge, but temporarily you have to fall back to not die early on. Slash will be the first one to shut down Strong dying early on next to new hatch area, so quite an easy frag for him at the very beginning here. No big deal for that for him, and the opening frag fell in favor of LALOOSANCE, so according to our statistics we can expect LALOOSANCE to win that round as well. At the same time, Aizen has to take care of Piano with a pixel peak shield, but you know, frags could fly their way because Slash, as we all know, does have frags in hand. One has been chucked out already. Second one could be flying out quite soon. Pixel peeks through the bar are opened by him, which could be quite painful for Aizen if he's not careful.
Yeah, Aizen being a bit brave at the moment with swinging around and taking those quick peeks, but it's going to be NZT to get the kill onto Slaz. Majestic does get a kill onto Dijou, and Blaz follows up with one onto NZT. The Goyo shield is popped to give Aizen time to retreat, but again, LALOOSANCE set up very well. The close range shotgun Mowgli just put to the floor, not finished off just yet. The smoke canister is going to come on out to potentially deny the revive. Another smoke canister coming through, but it's going to be MFC to get the kill onto Aizen as Easy picks up Mowgli. MFC finishing the round out. LALOOSANCE round number 10, following the trend of getting that opening kill, and now they're sitting on match point.
I mean, that was not messy. We talked about the last round being messy. This one was beautiful from LALOOSANCE. I mean, they knew what they wanted to do and they executed properly. Of course, they had, you know, they had some stress when the defenders were, for example, tossing the C4 at them and whatnot, but they got the spots they needed in the right order. And you lose something on the way there, which is fine, but the certainty of how they pushed into their positions, of how safe they felt peeking into gunfights or taking the risk of going into gunfights, just shows that LALOOSANCE, for me personally, at least mentally, is the winner of this match. I mean, they are absolutely confident going into this match. Sleepy Gang on the other side was quite aggressive on attack. On defense, they seem to be like a shy mouse in the corner. They could be so much more aggressive. We know Sleepy Gang is super aggressive when they need to be, but they're not going to show us, at least for the moment, anything which is saying that to me.
Yeah, I mean, these aren't the same teams that we have witnessed before. I mean, Sleepy Gang, even last week, the difference between them is night and day, and I guess part of that comes down to just how impactful Mello and EIZ were. Obviously, Mello, one of the best players in the league. EIZ, a very strong supporting operator, supporting role, did a lot of good things for his team without necessarily showing up a lot on the stat board. So it's just surprising to see Sleepy Gang stumble this much, and the LALOOSANCE that we saw go up against Dead Inside and Team Homeless, this isn't the same team. They're completely revitalized. The introduction of Blaz has made them far more aggressive and far more prolific with what they're trying to do, and it's really working out well for them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think Blaz was what they need on their team. That sort of aggression, but still on a support player, because we do see Blaz playing support operators, but fragging when needed. It's not like your main entry fragger, but that is not his role, but he can still step up the game if your entry frag, for example, doesn't, you know, show up to the table.
I cannot believe how aggressive he is here. This is insane.
But be aware, the grenade, of course, will be flying away quite soon. Shield gets blown up, but Aizen makes his way away safely, but takes roughly 50 HP damage in the act of rotating away of that situation. But he can, of course, help taking care of the White Star's hallway and, of course, help Easy to cover his back.
Sleepy Gang doing much better job this time. They've still got all 5 players left alive. A lot of HP damage done to Mowgli, a little bit done to MFC as well. And I mean, with a minute 20 still to go in the round, they're in a pretty strong position. Easy's still close here with this shotgun, just ready for anyone who wants to get even a little bit aggressive towards that hallway. For the time being, notices Mowgli finds himself through. Easy crosses through the bit where the Maverick holes are. Mowgli swinging around is able to get that kill, and actually is able to get a lot of damage done at long range onto NTZ. Easy's pushing on in through Freezer as they're starting to get aggressive. As MFC actually to get the kill onto Aizen, swinging round onto Cocktail, not going to work out. Diju and NZT are going to get one apiece as Mowgli's getting the plant down closer to rotate. NZT going to collect another kill, this time onto Majestics, and LALOOSANCE now on a 2 versus 3, 1 versus 3. The Claymore coming through, going to get the kill onto Strong, but not before he took down Blaz, and now it's all left to Mowgli. He gets one, can't finish off NZT, and that is going to be Sleepy Gang through the chaos, rising above it all and winning that round.
Yeah, I would like to quote you there, through the chaos. That was a chaotic finish, but Sleepy Gang is still in the play. They showed us match point for our opponent. We can play counter-aggressive. This is what we talked about earlier. We want to see more aggression of Sleepy Gang, and just like to point out, Aizen did deliver. He played super aggressive behind the shield and piano, fell back there when needed, so he didn't risk stupidly his life. He fell back when needed and then could help, of course, secure the safetiness of the white hallway. At the same time, what was going on there in the bathroom area?
I have no idea. Easy just, I guess maybe he didn't hear the Maverick open the wall. It's incredibly quiet, but even still, to just run across like that was probably misguided at best. But I'm just so impressed with how NZT held that site down, playing as the Maestro. You got the Alder, the bullet hose of a gun, but to still just be that effective with it and just denying and retaking the site like that, a very good job from him.
I mean, the thing is, the Claymore was a really good idea there because you can't face check white hallway, so you need some sort of safety that, you know, there's not just a defender rushing at you whenever you're not aware of it. So putting down the Claymore and taking care of the bathroom wall was definitely the right play. But something I would have liked to see as well is Easy playing even more aggressive. I mean, he has the shotgun, he is more or less in safety for the time being, because of course the main aggression was faced onto the bathroom wall, then rather what you would normally think on the White Star's hallway. So with the shotgun in hand, he could, you know, try to bait the Claymore, try to push or peek at least into the attackers, and at least scare them a little bit and take even more time off the board. He didn't do that. He tried to play more safety, but then just rushed through bathroom. Not sure what that was, but let's forget about that because the round has been won by Sleepy Gang, and we're one round of potential overtime or LALOOSANCE taking the first of 5 maps.
And, well, we're seeing LALOOSANCE go for the same kind of push that he did before, coming on into Bakery. Mowgli not wasting any time, starting the fragging off nice and early as he takes down Diju. They are denied from being able to open that wall up for free. It's a very risky hard breach, or reinforcement coming through at the end. We are starting to hear the hard breach go off. LALOOSANCE not wasting any time at all, trying to make sure that they can finish this one out as quickly as they can for themselves, as this pressure, minute 50 left on the clock, and they've already used up a lot of hard breach utility, gotten open all the angles that they would need to go for an execute, and now it's all about just working these picks, isolating the defenders, and forcing them out of their positions.
Of course, a lot of their positions is currently not working as well because we can see NZT is still playing at the front of radio, but the smoke, of course, is doing the job quite nicely. Mowgli walks in, plants the diffuser, tries to but stops just a little bit. Coming in here, you have to be aware smoke canisters are still in place. So are C4s. MFC shuts down strong. Just, you know, gets that foot even deeper into the door. This is the round. LALOOSANCE needs to finish it off. Blast shuts down NZT. Even one more on the board. And there you go. LALOOSANCE takes the first map without a problem in the end.
I mean, just impressive. They got everything set up there immediately. They were already pushing onto the site while the defenders were basically still setting up. The defenders were in their positions by the time we got past the first kill, and they had that bakery explosion from Mowgli is going to give them round number 1 here on Oregon.
Wow. So this aggression comes in super handy. The aggression from LALOOSANCE could overwhelm, I'm saying it now as it is, in my opinion, could overwhelm Sleepy Gang. The fact that Sleepy Gang seems a little more passive today could actually be a good thing on Oregon, but with the current meta of Jaeger's ADSs, when you flash them and you burn them once, being deactivated for 10 seconds, which brings you to the need of playing more aggressive then, because you have that time window of 10 seconds to toss in whatever you want, and it will, you know, land. Playing aggressive is rewarded much more, and this round just showed how deadly Mowgli can be and how deadly aggression overall can be. Not sure if these Mira windows have been working whatsoever. That's why we also do see Sleepy Gang pick off Mira and go to Melusi to, you know, get rather notified and slow down the aggressive push, which is a nice adaptation. I'm just not sure if this is already enough to stop the aggression from being that heavy and that massive.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mira can work well. It's just very difficult to control the site using them in its current state. There's a lot more open angles now than there was on Oregon of old, where by positioning your mirror windows, you're generally going to be being exposed from at least one other position. There's no real just all-around safe spot to put them in. And the other issue is with mirror windows, well, you get 2 of them. You either put them down early and you are locked into directing 2 avenues of attention, in which case we saw from Sleepy Gang last time was towards the laundry and the freezer, which means that mirror is entirely useless if LALOOSANCE are going to go for a blue push, which is looking like that's what they want to do, and they're going to try and pull it off again. Shield gets popped, but MFC is able to avoid the flames and take the head off of Aizen. That means its wall is going to remain soft, and that's going to give LALOOSANCE a lot of opportunity when it comes to their push later on.
Very nice pixel peek in position, but okay, MFC, that knife was not maybe the thing you want to do, but that grenade will get rid of the shield, will also get rid of the player. Mowgli pushing in as well, will get rewarded with a kill. Counter-frag is there as well. MFC though shutting down NZT, and it's only D just last alive. Slash is down, Diffuser is dropped, but it's up to the K, and K will also have no chance to Majestic, as just the aggression once again overwhelmed Sleepy Gang.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, we had a smoke towards blue. It was actually the smoke who was trying to close that wall off. And I mean, generally you see a smoke canister get thrown. Those Goyo shields aren't gonna have the same extended range. You can throw that smoke into the narrow corridor and really stop people from pushing up and getting that frag on you. If Aizen was able to successfully close that wall off, then we wouldn't have seen Easy die to the frag nade. It would have been much easier for them as a team to hold onto the site itself. Diju may have even been able to throw down an electrical and deny that wall from being opened up at all, but that wasn't the case. And it's just, again, as you mentioned, LALOOSANCE bringing just an insane amount of aggression that we've not seen from them before, and it's working.
And I think I need your help here, because for the first round, I noted down very aggressive playstyle by LALOOSANCE. What should I write down now for the second round?
I mean, I would same again, but this time Aizen making a little bit of a mistake by blue. That's all.
I just put an X2 behind it to show that it's even more, because the amount of aggression LALOOSANCE brings into the second map is devastating. I mean, it's so hard to see Sleepy Gang defend because whatever they try to do, it doesn't work. They just toss players at them and come out on top because, of course, what are you going to do in a 2v1 situation? If you can isolate the players, you're always going to win. Even if you lose a player in the act, you're always going to lose that situation as the defensive side. So I don't know what exactly would be needed from Sleepy Gang, but they do need to adapt and also, in my opinion, play more aggressive to not as easily as that give away map control and options to the attackers.
Yeah, we are seeing 2 ADSs be used. One of those shields has already been popped, and Diju with a very nice shot takes down Slaz. Aizen continuing to try and stay aggressive, gets punished for it by MFC. We are seeing Diju try and close off that wall. A little bit of a trade coming through. Easy's actually going to re-frank out Majestic after Majestic's got the kill onto Strong. Diju successfully closing off this blue rotate, meaning that they are going to rely on Blaz to open everything up, but only the Hibana isn't going to be able to open up enough as they would if they still had that thermite available. Blaz instead choosing to get the hatch and actually drops down into electric almost immediately. Mowgli, why are you trying to shoot an ass charge up like that? Diju doing work with that org is going to get yet another kill. Blaz is able to trade out easy and push a little bit closer on into the site itself, but they aren't in a position to go for a plant just yet. MFC still has a frag nade in pocket if he wants to try and throw it through and get the kill onto Diju, which is looking like he's going to. No, doesn't go in far enough. The C4 going to come on out and is going to get the kill onto MFC. Now it's Blaz left in a 1 versus 2. He gets the headshot onto MVT. He misses the shot onto Diju. Flashbang going over the top. Diju forced to back away for the time being, but he re-peeks and takes down Blaz. Sleepy Gang challenging the aggression coming through from LALOOSANCE with some of their own, and they pull it off. Diju, what a round.
Now, there you go. That is not Sleepy anymore. This is Sleepy Gang as we know them. Whenever they get faced with aggression, just be counter-aggressive, and it might work. It did work this time round, and I'm sure if they can continue to be that aggressive, at least we're going to see a much more contested map. Let's put it that way. Because you could clearly see that LALOOSANCE, with the aggression they showed earlier, they were not thinking about getting faced with counter aggression, and they for a moment lacked of how can they adapt. They lacked of knowing how they could adapt to that counter aggression. It was a 1-1 situation, which I would like to highlight once again, which could have been won by both of these teams, but Sleepy Gang did pull something off which they didn't pull off earlier to make it even come to a 1v1 situation, which is a big deal, and also their first round one on defense on, and I am going to correct myself, a previously defender-sided map. Here in CCS, actually an attacker-sided map.
I mean, you said some interesting things there, and I want to pick up on a couple of them. So you made the same joke that we made last week of Sleepy Gang not being sleepy anymore, because they had a pretty rough first map even, on Oregon against Dead Inside. And then when we moved on to Cafe, they really started to show up and play out of their minds, which led them to be able to win that one. So I think Sleepy Gang, there are teams out there that sometimes it just takes them a few rounds or even a map before they can start really playing effectively, and maybe that's the case. Maybe we'll see Sleepy Gang start to fire up a little bit more, but they played that downstairs bomb site 3 times in a row. They were not willing to switch it up and go to this top floor bomb site, generally considered to be as defensible as downstairs. And that makes me kind of worried, especially now that we're seeing LALOOSANCE all stack up inside a bedroom and trophy, looking like they're ready to go for something explosive nice and early here in round number 4.
Yeah, and as you say, something explosive. This could be very explosive in at least a couple of seconds, because we do see MFC with the grenades in hand. The first bit of utility is already burned. Ash Bridger was being chucked in as well. The grenade chucked in as well, just to burn that shield, which is, going to limit the amount of counter peaks for the defenders. And also look at the amount of damage on both Strong and Deej's life, which have been dealt. Mowgli even goes forward and puts the damage even more and more onto their shoulders, as Easy has to say goodbye, and that is also C4 off the board. But there's also another C4 which comes flying, but Slaz will take the kill down onto DJ's Blast, fires down NZT as well. Diffuser is dropped though, but it is going to be recovered as Laz takes out Strong. It's only Aizen with the SMG-11 in hand, has to take care of 4 attackers and will not be able to do so as Mowgli stomps him in the corner.
Yeah, and I mean, I really liked the play that went down between Mowgli and I can't remember who was playing the Melusi in that situation, but basically it's very common to throw an impact nade through a hole in the floor of a games area onto there's a lamp that sticks down from the inside of classroom, and if you hit your impact nade perfectly, it'll deny the thermite charge. But you need to be sort of position prepared with that impact nade out to throw it down. Mowgli waited for the first impact nade to come out, knowing that I think it might have been Easy would then pull out the second impact nade, and at that moment in time went for the peak, killed the Melusi, allowed them to open up that wall, which then just completely cuts the site in two, isolates all the players, and they didn't even need to worry about going for that attic control. They just had everything they needed right there, and it all just started to crumble after that point for Sleepy Gang.
Okay, to take care of that aggression, for the first time ever, I'm not sure if I sound different, I am casting now standing.
Oh.
Like, the amount of aggression LALOOSANCE brings to this match so far, and especially to the second map, is purely out of this world. I mean, this might be the reason as well why all the maps are going to be more and more attacker-sided, because you don't need utility. It doesn't matter if Jäger is reworked or not, if you just have Mowgli running in and gunning down people.
Yeah, I mean, obviously utility is still an important part of the game, but you're not going to be stopped in the same way as an attacker if you choose to ignore the utility. Previously, if you didn't go through that whole process of clearing and burning everything out, you would be quite often a heavily disadvantageous situation, and your attack could be easily repelled. Not so anymore. Now you can overcome it by being able to bring a suitable amount of aggression and being able to push off of it quickly. And here we are, quickly MFC getting a frag kill onto Diju, perfectly timed with the flashbang. Burn out the ADS, throw in the nade immediately after, get the kill. Now, that wall's not being contested as Mowgli got that downstairs presence. Easy is down here as well, as is NTZ, so there's the potential for a late game play C4 impact nades to deny the plant, but it's not looking likely. In fact, Easy doesn't even have any impacts, and NZT has come back with these white stairs. A minute 40 to go, walls open, LALOOSANCE could potentially go for an execute within the next 30 seconds.
And Aizen also has been taking a massive amount of damage off his chest, and of course now everything is set up for the push. They're just going to wait a little bit more on attack to get the free kill, but as we can see, even more utilities be chucked in and kills are being collected. Mowgli with the Vulcan shield collects the frag onto Aizen. MFC takes massive amount of damage but remains alive, and Easy has a chance to rotate, but Majestic is totally aware of the situation. Strong though able to drift onto MFC, and what is going on? Strong and NZT might pull this off as they frag huge amount of damage, and it's only Majestic for LALOOSANCE left alive with a round which I would have guessed completely has been changed within a second.
Now Majestic, he's got the diffuser, he's recovered it, and he's in a relatively safe position, but he's going to go for the push. Gets the kill onto NZT and is aware the last one's inside of Attic. Sees the V-holes, hits the shots! LALOOSANCE!
What?
How are you doing this?
What? So let's pull this together and let's talk about this. If I'm not mistaken, a 5v2 situation got dragged into a 2v1 situation in favor of Sleepy Gang, and yet still LALOOSANCE won it?
I mean, the execute that LALOOSANCE did for sort of the first minute and a half was perfect. They had the wall open. They got the initial frag killed onto Diju. They weren't contested opening up the breach. They even had Majestics. Yeah, he was on the flank watch on the main stairs. They had a drone informing them that Easy was coming up through the lobby. He went down. He took that fight, won it, well, easily. Aizen, being on incredibly low HP, stuck his feet out, got caught by a Goyo shield that had been opened up from below. At this point in time, if you're LALOOSANCE, everything is going perfectly. And then for some reason, 3 of them challenge the Jaeger inside of Attic, and they all lose. ATT is able to collect 1 kill elsewhere, and the Majestics just in a 1 versus 2, and he's still able to win it. I really can't believe that round. And anything past the point where LALOOSANCE was set up perfectly in the first minute and a half, I refuse to believe actually happened. Because there is no way that takes place in a game like this.
Well. Majestic at the beginning of the next round takes a massive amount of damage, but remains alive for the time being. But DJus actually finds the head of Slash and takes out the Thermite, which only now leaves 1 last hardware chain in place. Mowgli, though, is able to refrag onto Easy and directly counter frags here as well. Easy not having a good game whatsoever with a KD of 106. Does not have an easy time for the moment, but the trade is there. But you still have to be aware of the fact that Majestic is now low in HP, and of course the time wasted is still creditable for Sleepy Gang. This round they don't lose early, which might bring them the advantage of winning late.
Yeah, well, 2 minutes still to go. Even man count. Majestics is on very low HP, so it's unlikely we'll be able to see him pull off a clutch as we did before, but I mean, LALOOSANCE is still being able to go for this, execute how they want to. Mowgli getting that downstairs control means that they're going to be able to open up this wall using Blaz's Hibana charges. In fact, some well-positioned Kaid Electroclaws coming through from Diju is going to delay them further. MFC also getting tagged up just a little bit. I think that was a nice peek by Aizen to just tap him down a touch, but Sleepy Gang brings them early aggression, and it works out for them, and now they're being able to hold it off just for the time being, though MFC gets 1. Aizen, a beautiful long-range challenge with that SMG-11, is going to trade out the sledge, but we're still in 3v3. LALOOSANCE are by no means out of this round.
Yeah, as you mentioned, LALOOSANCE is by no means out of this round, as they still have a 3v3 situation ongoing, and with the time, they have what they need, but they also, of course, do need that hard breach, which Blast is going to open just now, as I mentioned it. On the other side, we still have a lot of utility on the bank account of Sleepy Gang, because we still have smoke with 3 smoke canisters in play, which in total can, of course, take care of that last 50 seconds, which have started just now. But the crossfires are still established by the defenders, because nothing could be done there from the attackers. So just pushing in will be, you know, the magic trick for LALOOSANCE to get this round 1. But we do have that crossfire established, as I mentioned earlier. Will Droning coming in as well, just to get that little more information as they needed for that late gameplay. 20 seconds left, and we see Blast going for a rotate, which might be unaware. Yes,
What?
NZT was kind of aware of that, but the counter frag is there as well, and the trade, but Aizen will be down. Majestic takes the kill onto him and will be down in reverse, but Mowgli in a 1v1 situation has to find Strong. Strong is in the corner with the bag on the wall. He has to fight this off, and he will win it. Let's go, Sleepy Gang. This is what I want to see.
Oh my goodness, what a game we are watching. As that round was developing, NZT holding down that position on White Stairs, so pivotal. He's the man with the C4. If the plant starts to come through and the other teammates die, he can drop below and chuck a nitro up as the time expires, win the round for his team. Blaz recognizes this as a moment of recognition coming through from LALOOSANCE that they need to clear that player out of White Stairs. It denies the crossfires, gives you an avenue to push in, and again denies that C4 come the end of the round. Blaz somehow winning that fight despite the fact that NZT knew it was coming. He was prepared for it. You saw him adjust his focus and was ready for that Hibana to swing. But he just lost the fight. And it gave them that ability to push on in. We saw Aizen fall afterwards. He did get the kill onto Blaz, which was huge, by the way. If Blaz had stayed alive there, then that round was most definitely going in favor of LALOOSANCE, but Aizen falling, leaving strong in this almost impossible 1v2. He gets the down to Majestic. If they want to finally finish off the Ash, and I mean, just an absolute roller coaster. We're only halfway through map number 2.
So something I would like to highlight though is Sleepy Gang did manage to win 2 rounds on defense, but they played both bomb spots. Yes, they only played 2 bomb spots 3 times in a row, and only on the 3rd time they managed to win it. For me personally, this doesn't scream that the second half is going to be any different, but let's not forget about this map being different now on attack than on defense with the current meta change. So Sleepy Gang on attack still having the chance to come out on top, but they are in a disadvantageous situation and they have to pull it off. Mowgli though will not allow that, at least for the first moment, and shuts down D-Juice and also takes care of one of the 3 main hard breaches, at least one of the 2 distance hard breachers, without taking massive amount of damage in return.
And if we look at the frags on the side of Sleepy Gang, Dijou had 7. Well, I had 7. He's not going to get any more in this round. And he was just such a pivotal part of the team. He was the reason why Sleepy Gang won that first round that they did. I believe he got a 3k or a 4k in that downstairs defense as the Kaid. Exceptional work coming through from him. So to lose him early on is insane. And what? A knife kill? Okay, Mowgli, you win that one. And he's just taking the next fight. Easy challenging from the doorway, losing his head. He's challenging. Oh my, I thought he won that there for a second, but no, NZT got the kill onto Majestic, and he's still, Mowgli, still being aggressive with absolute. What? He hits that Aizen. Good night. And now it's NZT in a 1v4.
Mowgli, you are dirty. This is absolutely nasty to see. 4k collected already without any problem whatsoever, and the next one might be coming quite soon. But of course, NZT doesn't have a lot to work with. He doesn't have the attic breach open, which would take him time. He doesn't have the closet breach open. He does have nothing to work with for the time being. He can just use the time to, you know, chat back with his team. What should we do different? How can we adapt? Because currently this is not going in their favor if they continue like that. And you know, you can use that time as a tactical timeout. MFC at the same time takes care of, you know, downstairs and wants to shut him down, but the trade comes through, and there you go. LALOOSANCE takes even 1 more round.
I'm just completely lost for words. LALOOSANCE, insane. Not just an extraordinary, not just an insane amount of aggression coming through. Oh, why? Why in any universe would Mowgli get 3 of those kills? I mean, I'm pretty sure that he either downed the player inside of Armory or he saw that they were on drones and went in for the knife kill. That's the only thing I could expect there. Then to just not choose to rotate back to site, but to try and take a peek onto a thermite outside the door, and to then consistently challenge the player inside of attic at that kind of range, using quite a difficult peak to pull off, and to then be successful. LALOOSANCE, I cannot believe this is happening right now. And more importantly, Blaz and Slaz, and even MFC to a slightly lesser extent, 3 players who I at least expected to be a bigger impact. I mean, Blaz last week, he was getting 14 kills, entering every round as Nomad. This week, he's going 4 and 4 because Mowgli and Majestics aren't letting him get into these gunfights. They are just taking them and winning them.
You know, the awesome thing about this match is that whoever has to sum up this match, there's 2 words so far. It's either aggression or the word clutch to sum up the entirety of the round so far. Yeah. I mean, either we have seen an insane clutch for both sides, honestly, or really a big amount of aggression from, you know, more or less only LALOOSANCE side. But Sleepy Gang still, they're fighting back. This is what I like to highlight, though. They're still not giving up mentally. They're still fighting back. They're still taking their time. They're not just, you know, giving up mentally. They are trying as much as they can to not lose mentally already, and then of course fall in the gunfights as well. Mowgli, though, continues to be aggressive. I mean, who can deny him to do so?
I don't think I've ever seen a player be this confident. I mean, we are going to see Easy start off getting a kill onto Slaz, and that's huge. That's the smoke gone. So if we do find ourselves in a clutch situation, LALOOSANCE won't have that nice safety net of 30 seconds of complete area denial. Instead, they'll have to rely on their fragging capability, which Mowgli, reinforcing a hatch a whole minute into the round, where the attackers are behind a soft wall 5 meters away, and then he kills Diju. The best player of Oregon so far for Sleepy Gang, and the Hibana.
Yeah, something definitely has to change on Sleepy Gang's side, and MFC also playing super aggressive to take care of, you know, slowing down the push in blue. First utility bits are flying his way, but Majestics is there to, you know, establish a crossfire. Even more aggression arises as MFC peeks into blue, but there's even one more in blue. Mowgli shuts down NZT, just gets more kills collected as he walks through this map. Strong has to rotate over to blue, but Easy shuts on MFC. Majestic is able to reflect. It's only Strong. Last life, no diffuser, and no life as Majestic takes off his head and proceeds to match point for LALOOSANCE on the second map.
Oh my god, what is happening? Sleepy Gang just not showing up. They're just not on the same level as not even LALOOSANCE, but of the Sleepy Gang that we've seen before. I mean, we've spoken so much about how much these changes are going to affect them, but it doesn't provide a reason as to the confidence, the insane decision making, and the fact that it's working coming through from LALOOSANCE. I have never been in a situation where a hatch has been unreinforced, has been soft, and a whole minute into the round, I've ever seen someone in any situation, casual, ranked, competitive, where they've gone, oh yeah, I'll just reinforce that. Never mind the fact that the attackers are within, you know, spitting distance of you. They can shoot you through the wall as you're doing it if someone yellow pings you. And he does it, and my brain is slowly turning off.
I think we have to check something with our Twitch community guidelines, because this might be cyberbullying. LALOOSANCE is not letting anything happen for Sleepy Gang. They're dominant anywhere through. They're not giving any chance away, especially Mowgli being now on 13 in 5. Dominating this matchup. I mean, what else can I say? He even went for a run out at the bottom of white stairs just to pursue on with this aggression. I mean, what?
LALOOSANCE beating up Sleepy Gang and taking their lunch money at this moment in time. That's probably the best way you could probably put it, but we're still seeing the aggression come through. Mowgli, as you mentioned, 13 and 5. Majestics is 11 and 4, and they're continuing to just be so aggressive. They're one round away from being able to take this. They're shooting people through walls, and they're winning the fights. Majestic eliminates Ace, and Mowgli gets Diju. This entire attic push gone. MFC gets the kill onto NZT elsewhere, and it's all left up to Strong and Easy to try and close this one out, to try and pull something back. But now it's just Easy as Blaz gets the kill onto Strong, the Thermite. 1v5 with a whole minute and 50 left on the clock, and they're just continuing to peak. Blaz at long range gonna lose that one, but take a lot of Easy's health away. We see players outside of it just running at him with pistols. LALOOSANCE. What? Oh my god, they're just tearing them apart.
The most ironic thing about, in my opinion, is that it did count as a flawless round because no kill has been confirmed. I mean, please, what is going on? Like this best of 5, this is not a best of 3, this is a best of 5, might be over quite soon. I mean, 2 map points have been won already by LALOOSANCE. This is the serious point for LALOOSANCE to take this match, and honestly, I'm quite frightened. I mean, we do see them starting on defense, but let's not forget about the fact that this map can also include a lot of runouts. But as always, we're going to start off with the ban phase. LALOOSANCE starting on defense. They're batting first, and Blackbeard. I mean, what should I say? Blackbeard definitely makes sense on this map. I mean, we all know this map. You are definitely afraid of a Blackbeard holding a long crosshair throughout the bomb sites, especially, of course, in hookah and pool. So definitely makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of powerful angles that can be held by the Blackbeard, and as well, sort of an additional part of Coastline is that there's less reliance on banning out Heartbreach. We are going to see Ace get banned out. Ace is kind of the exception to the rule because of just how much he can open and the ways in which he can open reinforcements. So seeing that Ace get banned out, very common within sort of the new sphere of Coastline. So not too surprising there. Defensive bans, a Valkyrie to start us off. Now, I'm going to be very surprised if we don't see a Mirror ban here, but banning Mirror would leave Wamai and Jaeger on the board, which might balance things out in terms of how attacker-sided this game is.
Yeah, correct. This could actually be a big thing because so far we did see an aggressive side from LALOOSANCE, both on attack and on defense, and this could, you know, make something out. But we will be seeing a Mira ban, so both Jaeger and Wamai will be able to be played. So we will have a quick rehost going on, and I think at the same time we can actually, you know, talk about these bans because I think these bans are kind of indicating or screaming already what we might see.
Yeah. Not going to go to a rehost. Aizen able to load back on into the game before the operator select was over. So we are going to be seeing this round out. A bit of a scramble by LALOOSANCE there to pick the operators at the last second. And we're going to see Majestics on a cap can, something that I would expect to be 6th picked off right now. But yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. Although
yeah,
we're only going to be seeing the Jaeger.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I think they were, you know, a little bit discussing with the admins, of course, as well, to see if they need to rehost or not. And of course, they lagged then off either Jaeger or Wamai, and now are kind of forced into their picks, especially Mowgli. I don't think Mowgli really wanted to play Goyu because so far we did see him excel on Jaeger the most, which obviously makes sense on him. So, yeah. Of course, not sure if this is going to continue in the next round as well, because next round there's going to be more time for them to pick operators. But for the moment, they have everything they need. And also, they have 3 shields in place, which they can utilize to, you know, get more safety in the actual bomb spots. Because we know how this map is played, and I keep repeating myself, but there's windows, and windows on this map are quite destructive if you consider that you can repel on a window and actually have a lot of impact on a bomb site and how the defenders have to position themselves. No. Early aggression, once again, Blast takes out Buck, the operator, which has been banned previously. Now does not see the light of the first round.
Yeah, I mean, I said it was going to be aggressive from both teams. LALOOSANCE, even though they're starting on defense, wanting to bring that aggression time at the time. I do believe MFZ also went for a spawn peek. We see Aizen and himself tagged up just a little bit, so I believe there's a little bit of a fight going on elsewhere. But Plaz, I mean, able to make it work with that Legion T95. Mowgli is going to get taken down by NZT. He was trying to push on through, and NZT with another one, this time onto MFC. So a lot of aggression being pushed back already as Strong's going to get the kill onto Slaz, and these attackers taking advantage of the aggressive nature of this map. And it's a 4 versus 2 in favor of Sleepy Gang as well. Majestic's not going to let it stay that way for long, getting the headshot onto Ace and pulling it back fight one more. Blaz is still alive and full HP, and he's got some cheeky little bullet holes he can use to deny any long hallway pressures. We are seeing Sleepy Gang stack up on this one side of the map.
Ooh. A minute 38 left. Still a lot of time for the attackers to play with, and this is something we talked about earlier. This is an attacker-sided map. The attackers don't need that much time to, you know, slay through the map, get eyes onto the bomb site, and of course also drain utility there, which perfect example is just happening right now. The first bits of utility are reaching the bomb site, in this case the Gemini replicator of Yana, you know, just to reel the position even more from the defenders. First Vulcan shield will be blown up with actually no effect because there was no one close to be stopped, but regardless it would have been blown up either way sooner or later. But now with a minute left, there can also be a rotate happening through for example, the hookah balcony, just to increase the pressure, or for example, of course, as well, the hookah window. And Majestic was unaware of that, gets taken out by Strong. It's up to only Blast. Blast takes down Strong and actually pulls it off Strong, but not if NZT is peeking into him. And this is the first round aggressively won by Sleepy Gang.
Yeah, I think the time, that little 5-minute break we had, they got it in their head saying, okay, if that's how LALOOSANCE wants to play, we're going to go to Coastline and we're going to be just as aggressive. NZT hitting some great shots to start things off after they lost that first man, being able to pick up 2 quick kills after that. And I mean, yeah, then you're in the man disadvantage as LALOOSANCE fighting from behind, and Sleepy Gang able to just take a little bit of time, figure out how they want to execute and make it work. But I mean, if that's the sign of the rounds to come, and I can only expect LALOOSANCE to try to go up a level from here, especially now that we're seeing what I assume is their intended operator lineup for this site, things might get a little bit more crazy.
Also, of course, it definitely makes sense to see, especially Melusi coming up, or the Goyo and the Legion and Mute in that combination, because as we mentioned, this is an attacker-sided map, but the longer you can delay the attack, both by pushing, which I mean, Melusi and Legion do quite well, but also information gathering wise with Mozzie and Mute, you actually can slow down the amount of aggression as well in total. So as long as you can do that, you can, you know, counter aggressively peek into them, and you know what to expect. I mean, seeing the first round though, Sleepy Gang is certain of what they want to do and how aggressively they want to play, so LALOOSANCE better become prepared to counter that, because otherwise we might see this go on to maybe an overtime or whatever. But I mean, this is just the first one we did see. Let's see how this will play out. Yeah. Also, maybe just to take the time, I think it's very nice here at that current point of time just to appreciate something which we didn't appreciate yet today, at least, because I wanted to thank our great sponsor for CCS Season 5, which is TapStats. We're currently simulcasting through Twitch to tapstats.com, so if you haven't checked them out, definitely make sure to check them out, and you will not miss any CCS action.
Well, action is sure to come, as we're seeing Sleepy Gang this time not immediately rushing on in. They are trying to get that control over towards VIP, and we see Blaz situated close by inside of Penthouse. Goomine going to get shot, and while Blaz is going to be aware of that, as Mowgli has lost quite a bit of HP, but Blaz is still just hiding. He gets 1 kill. Aizen's on the big window, potentially able to deny him, but Blaz hides right back down. He's so aware that he's going to be repelling upside down, misses the shot. Actually, it's a trade. Majestic's going to go for a run out, trying to kill a player on the VIP balcony. There's no one there to face him, but it's going to be MFC with a C4 killer. NZT get the kill onto Splaz, so we're in a 3 versus 2 in favor of LALOOSANCE, and there's still a minute 30 to go. Mowgli inside of VIP, trying to be aggressive, taking all these gunfights, being penned in from every single angle, is eventually going to lose his life to Dijus before things finally start to calm down. Now 2 versus 2 with a minute 20 to go.
But something you also have to consider is that NZT, who did a great job so far, did take a big amount of damage. That was what I wanted to say. And therefore, in the actual push then later onto the bomb site, he does have to be careful, because something like an impact or some bullets of an MP could already be his death. I mean, something you always have to be, careful of course. But at the same time, we do see Hibana using her X Kairos to open up VIP with a line of sight into Pool. Majestic will, as I mentioned, to shut down NZT. And it's only the DJ's Hibana left alive with no diffuser currently in hand. And time-wise, 35 seconds, not much to work with, but enough to pull it off.
And, well, Dijus is one of the players on this Sleepy Gang side that I would trust to be able to pull it off. He had some insane performances back on Oregon, and, well, with 20 seconds to work with, I'm sure he can make something happen here as MFC finally becomes aware of this new line of attack and the pre-fire coming through. Diju doesn't even have a chance to get his gun up before he's just put in the dirt, and, well, LALOOSANCE able to pull it back there, now going 1-for-1.
I mean, so far, this was a good adaptation from LALOOSANCE. Once again, something you have to consider is that in the first round, it wasn't the optimal lineup. It wasn't the optimal way LALOOSANCE intended to play that first bomb site. Now, as we did see that, we did see a completely different story, which once again indicates where this match could go. It's technically on paper an attacker-sided map, but the defenders can play heavily aggressive if they want to, though I'm right now thinking about that Frost pick, which does make sense on the kitchen bomb side, but is still quite unusual, if I'm allowed to word it like that.
Absolutely. I mean, there are some good positions on this map where you can position your Frosts. I mean, that kitchen window, for one, is a pretty decent spot, as when you jump on in, looking down isn't exactly your top priority, as there's going to be lots of defenders within the site itself wanting to swing at you and take shots. But then also behind that sunrise bar is a position where players try to rush. It's a safe spot to sit behind, so getting aggressive and trying to jump behind that, there's just a frost map there, you get caught out, and now that's a lot of time wasted as people need to either get you up or the defenders can actually swing on through and get killed themselves. Now, this is something I really like to see when just defending downstairs in any capacity, is opening up that blue bar wall into the courtyard, because it stops the attackers from being able to come on in from office. Generally, you'll only see that when teams are defending blue bar, but it's a nice adjustment to make here, as players, it just doesn't allow NZT to play the round. That's fine.
Well, that is once again that early aggression, and also does hurt Sleepy Gang quite heavily, because if you consider NZT is the main fragger, the main thrusting power so far in the first 2 rounds, and now he doesn't have a chance to see the light of the day and to help his team. I mean, of course, he can give intel on drones, but it's not the same thing as taking down opponents. Majestic does just as I say and takes on one and drops the diffuser no man's land outside of the map, and Strong will also be downed and kill confirmed with the C4 flying all the way from Slaz. And it's now getting more and more painful to watch what LALOOSANCE is doing to Sleepy Gang, and Sleepy Gang doesn't really have time to breathe. All the amount of bullets and utility tossed at Sleepy Gang, almost nothing to work with. Easy gets down as well. It's only D just left alive. D just finds the frag onto Slaz with what a beautiful shot, but Blast will finish him off. And once again, LALOOSANCE is dominantly showing where they want to go today.
I mean, I just can't believe it. The fights that Sleepy Gang, that LALOOSANCE even are taking, are just insane, incredible. The aggression we saw around that security hallway there from Blaz is incredible. Generally, you don't see players try and contest from security in towards that hallway and then into the sunrise or the office itself. They generally tend to play a little bit safer further back, so you've got an easy rotate into lobby. But Blaz, after he got that initial spawn peek onto NZT, I don't think anything was slowing him down. And the key part is that it's not just Blaz being aggressive. We're seeing Mowgli and Majestic still jumping out of the building and trying to take those fights. Slaz as well doing his bits with MFC, using C4s and utility and generally holding down the site itself, while the rest of them are just free to run amok. And in fact, I got that wrong. Mowgli currently has 0 kills. So yeah. I just can't believe this aggression. And we're seeing MFC with the Ella shotgun as well. This is going to be spicy.
I mean, the thing is, Mowgli did have so many kills last map.
Hmm.
Now, this map, he does have 0 kills in the first 3 rounds, which you might question, why is this the case? I mean, of course, also players do have preferred maps, not only teams, so that makes sense. But most importantly, his weight can be caught off by his teammates, so he does have something to rely on. MFC does have the pistol to rely on, but not landing any shot, at least for the moment, for the sake of Sleepy Gang. But like, yeah, as I mentioned, we do see Blast showing off, we do see Majestic showing off, just the whole team catching off if someone is not on the full amount. Even though I still think Mowgli is on the full amount, he just didn't get the chance to pull off what we are used to seeing from him.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him get 7 kills through 5 rounds back on Oregon, so, you know, allowing him a little bit to slow down is alright. So we're actually going to see Easy start off the killing this go around. Sleepy Gang finally going to get that opening kill here, and it's going to take down Slaz. It's the Melusi, so there's potentially a C4 lost. I can't recall if he had a C4 or impacts, and if he had already used those impacts, but it's still a fair amount of utility lost for the team. Those Banshees will stick around and be useful and slow down the push coming through from Sleepy Gang. If Sleepy Gang are even able to get into positions where they're going for the push and these fights aren't just taken early on, which I think is probably going to be the case again, as we already see Mowgli trying to fire some shots through into Kitchen. We do see a lot of pressure coming through from that main lobby side from Sleepy Gang. Blaz was over by those white stairs, as we're actually seeing a bit of pressure coming through from Office as well.
You can see Mowgli is continuing to stay aggressive, even though he's not 100% sure where his opponents are. He wants to make sure that they know he's there and they're not free to roam throughout the map as an attacker's team. And he does get a kill. MFC gets a kill with the pistol as well onto Easy, but also Mowgli will remain to be alive in main lobby, but then Strong is able to shut him down as he was just picking more and more into him. 3v2 situation in favor once again of Sleepy Gang, even more as D just shuts down MFC. Only Majestic last alive, but we did see clutches today already, so maybe nothing too crazy. But, well, I mean, once again, I've been proven wrong as Sleepy Gang takes that next round, and we do see a tie score-wise coming in. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, I mean, Sleepy Gang definitely using their own gun skill to their advantage here, being able to use the attacker-sided nature of the map as well to their advantage, and, you know, remaining aggressive and being successful in these rounds is good to see that they're staying in it, and it's not all falling down to a single player like Diju, like Easy, to do all the heavy lifting. We are seeing everyone's starting to show up a little bit, and I think we might be seeing LALOOSANCE at the moment be a little overconfident. I didn't really see any setup there that round. They didn't open at the bottom of blue. They kind of just made a rotate between the two sites, threw down some default reinforcements and a couple shields, and then they all just tried to take gunfights far away from the site itself. So maybe we'll see them now start to temper it down just a little bit, so they're actually playing the objective and using that and the setups to their advantage, or we're just going to see them continue be ridiculously aggressive in just the best way possible.
I mean, either way, as you mentioned, and this is something I think really important to note on especially this map, it's an attacker-sided map, and the amount of aggression LALOOSANCE brings into this map is beneficial to a certain degree, but it can be punished, and this is something we did just see by Sleepy Gang. If you punish them in the right way and isolate them, I mean, they isolated first one player in main lobby. Mowgli then had, you know, some action going on there and collect the kill, but they could then also catch Mowgli there. It is what they need. Easy opening it up with the shot on MFZ, taking the early advantage. Maybe now Sleepy Gang is finally onto their maximum level and awake to pull this off. I mean, this is what they need. This is their last chance. It's the last map to remain in CCS Season 5.
Yeah, if they lose here, that's it. Sleepy Gang locks into third place, and it'll be LALOOSANCE progressing on through to the grand finals next week. But, I mean, it's still a long road to go before, well, even the end of this map, so we can see if LALOOSANCE are going to win here. And, well, Sleepy Gang are still 2 maps down. There's a lot of work that they need to put in to be able to win it out here. getting that opening kill. It worked for them last time around. They were able to win the round off of that, and LALOOSANCE is still being insanely aggressive. We see two players kind of close to the site, and Mowgli and Blaz both over towards this White Stairs main lobby. Mowgli is going to rotate back now, so we are seeing a little bit more of a default hold coming through. But I think the thing for LALOOSANCE, we saw how MFZ died there. That's a very common and very old spawn peak to use, so the Sleepy Gang aren't going to get caught out by that, although Blaz is just trying to catch everyone out as he's pushing on in, getting aggressive, unaware that there's a Nomad to the right. Actually, he thinks he might have heard something there. The Impact Nade landing basically right on easy. He's going to finish them off, and that's a quick little 2k for the Legion on the roam. There is still one more inside of VIP, and he seems to be prepared for it. Doesn't hit the shots, though, unaware of the angle. Dijou gets that kill. Mowgli trades out Azen, so we've still got the man advantage for LALOOSANCE as Mowgli is over here towards this backside theater top White Stairs. And there's one more player, NZT, who needs to cross his path before he can get on through to the site and assist his teammate Dijou inside of VIP. NZT, aware of Mowgli's position, trying to get aggressive and take the challenge. Lots of stuff coming back and forth. Mowgli could potentially just try and rotate away here, but no, he's not going to back down at all. He needs to get his frags up, and he's going to stay and take these fights, but it might work out to their disadvantage, as Dijou is going to get the kill on Majestics. Mowgli still trying to take this battle, and he loses it to NZT, and it's all left up to Slaz in a 1 versus 2 against an Ash and a Hibana. He has worked his way inside of VIP. There may not be a drone calling at his location, but it's not really important, as we're seeing the two players from Sleepy Gang decide to rotate on over into Aqua. A cam will alert Slaz to their positions, as there's only 15 seconds left to go. Mute has a C4 available that he could... No, he doesn't have a C4 available. He used it earlier on. He needs to take these challenges face to face. He gets caught in the flashbang, but he's able to hide behind the bar. Dijou not going for the plan. The shots from Slaz gets the first kill, and no time! LALOOSANCE win the round off of the time. Ash not pushing in aggressively enough. No, it's the Banshee stopping the Ash from getting in quickly. Oh my.
Unfortunate. I mean, this is something which only a lot of people will actually, think about or talk about. You put your utility down in the prep phase, but most of the time it will only then come into action in the last seconds of the map and have an impact on that. I mean, Amira can, work quite early on. You can peek behind it whenever you want to, but something like a Guma, you put down at the beginning of a map, or in this case a Banshee, you put it down at the very beginning of the round. You don't even know if the push is going to come from there, but it might benefit your team. It did in this round, but imagine Mowgli playing less aggressive and not being able to, waste so much time off the other side of the map.
Yeah.
It all tied together. They knew they had to waste time in order then to, play it off on the bomb side. Even though if they would fall, they had the utility to back off at least by a bit. But it was still really risky, which though is not surprising. So far we did LALOOSANCE risk so much, but they're certainly aware that they can risk it because it didn't really fell against them so far.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still not a fan of that aggression that we saw from Mowgli in that round. There was realistically no need for him to be that aggressive where he was. He did a good job wasting the time. He could have backed down the White Stairs, stayed on a roam, burnt up even more of the clock, but instead constantly trying to go for those frags and get those kills. It was so risky. I mean, like you say, it did work out well for them in the fact that they were able to delay a lot of time, but I don't necessarily think it was precisely the play, but I guess this is as Blaz gets 2! Challenges the player outside the window. He gets a 3rd, taking down strong Kansas man. He's stopped. He's continuing to swing and challenge everything. Easy has been down as well. That's a Nomad finished off by MFC, and within 50 seconds, NCT by himself inside of office, just trying to fire some shots back and forth. Not gonna happen. MFC gonna win that one. LALOOSANCE flawless on their final defensive round off of 3 insane kills from Blaz.
Well.
Just
So I would change my opinion from saying the maps are attack or defender sided to just say in this matchup, the matches are just LALOOSANCE sided, right?
yeah.
Whatever side they play on, they excel to the maximum extent, but they continue to flow. Normally, you do see quite often, right? Something you do see so often is someone gets a kill, gets back into safety, which does make sense because you don't want to lose that advantage. But in this situation, to seeing especially flex operators, which are not main frag operators, like Legion,
Mm.
excel that much and that successfully is really surprising to me. But it once again just proves how confident LALOOSANCE is. They don't care if they need to risk their lives. They don't care if they risk losing utility. They don't care whatsoever if they lose the round. They continue to peak because they want to end it right here and right now. And I don't know, it screams that it can be punished, but currently if I look at Sleepy Gang, they have to be more creative to counter that aggression. I know it's really hard to face that much aggression. I mean, I think you as well, Dino, you played competitive matches where you had to face aggression to that maximum level and you were just absolutely clueless. What should I do? But you have to be creative.
Yeah, I mean, this sort of echoes what you're saying. A sight for sore eyes on the first two maps. Sleepy Gang only used 2 out of the 4 available bomb sites. Diju gonna get a nice opening kill taking down Mowgli, but that sort of lack of creativity, restricting themselves to such a limited option, only picking the 2 most common bomb sites on both of the maps, really gonna hamper them. Now, I mean, there's a certain point where it's imagination, coming up with different strategies, and a certain point where you just need to win your fight. That last round that we just saw, Blaz should not have gotten. I mean, okay, maybe he gets the kill onto the player outside the window, swinging that the player there not really expecting it. The player inside of Sauna needs to win that fight immediately afterwards. The fact that Hibana lost that, and then Blaz was able to challenge out the Sunrise door and get a third. Sleepy Gang must not have been holding their mouses properly, because I have never seen them miss shots like that before. Diju is going to get another kill though to show that he's back on track, and that's 3 players now down for LALOOSANCE. Diju the beneficiary of all of those, and Sleepy Gang may be looking like they'll be able to pull this one back.
I mean, they have the thriving power, but Blaz is able to shut down Diju finally after collecting 3 kills back to back. But the advantage is there for Sleepy Gang. Blaz downing easy through the wall. Can someone please check the Moss files? Majestic also then confirming the kill onto Easy. Well, so far, Sleepy Gang did lead in this round, but LALOOSANCE is getting back into it with a very devastated look. No, this is not LALOOSANCE. They are continuing to play aggressive. Aizen takes damage in the act of counter peeking the main window in Pool, and you know, time is ticking it away, so it does. 1 minute left on the clock, but Blast takes NZT as well, and Blast finds one more. This is very much winnable, and it is won by LALOOSANCE. What is going on?
Essentially a 2v5 ace for Blaz there. He got the down onto Easy. It was the Nomad to finish that kill off, but I mean, to just walk through all of Sleepy Gang like that, that is incredible. And I tweeted out what you said just there earlier during the break. Someone needs to be looking through the Moss files of these guys, because what is happening? It's absolutely unreal, the performance that we're seeing, the shots these guys are hitting consistently. I mean, I maybe Blaz heard a little bit of our post-game after Oregon, because I said, really not showing up in the way that we were expecting. It was Mowgli and Majestics, and I guess he took that personally, because now he's currently sitting on 15 kills. But technically 16, if that down wasn't taken from him. Which is just incredible. Through 7 rounds, that's an average of 2 kills a round for 7 straight rounds.
Yep. Which, I mean, if you think about it, it doesn't sound that much, but 2 out of 5, and let me show you my quick math skills, are 40% of the opposite team. right? Blaz only was able to take out 40% of the team, of the opponents, with no work whatsoever, and that consistently throughout 7 rounds. It's not just a one-time show. No, this is what he delivers so far consistently, and I think this is something which we talk about them playing aggressive and succeeding being aggressive. Usually you only see it on one map really working out. So far, it did work out for LALOOSANCE on 3 maps without an end in sight.
Yeah. I mean, I, I'm completely blown away by everything that we've seen. We're still not seeing Sleepy Gang switch it up and go to a different site. They are sticking with Hookah for the time being. We are also seeing Easy bring out that cap can, which, you know, I kind of like. If you're just expecting LALOOSANCE to be that aggressive all the time, you might be able to catch a cheeky 50-60 points of damage using one of those cap can traps if they're unaware. But for the time being, nothing has happened just yet, aside from the fact that LALOOSANCE are already inside of Aqua. Mowgli there getting rid of one of those Banshees. Bijou is going to get a C4 kill onto Slaz. That's the Hibana gone, as Aiden also loses a lot of HP elsewhere. Drone's going to come on through, spot out that the majority of the fight is clear, but there's still quite a few defenders knocking around inside the actual objective itself. So LALOOSANCE finally being halted just a little bit.
And the fact that now Aqua Control is already in the control of the attackers basically brings the benefit for LALOOSANCE that they can just wait and see, okay, do we get phased? For example, Aizen is speaking every once in a while. Maybe we can collect the frag onto him as well and just, you know, work with our favor, which we already do have because we're quite close to drop site. Sure, we lost Hibana, but Hibana not necessarily needed. Now MFC actually tries to plant the diffuser, and nobody seems to be aware of that. It could go down, and yes, it does go down, though strong as Mowgli. Majestic able to refrag onto Easy, but the diffuser is down. The pressure is on Sleepy Gang's shoulders, and they have to clutch it now. Majestic finds one more kill onto Strong, putting it to an equal score man count wise, but NZT able to find Majestic, as of course his position was revealed, and this is the problem of this map. The diffuser is super exposed, but Blast peeks into NZT. It's only up to MFC, who aligns the shots but doesn't land them as needed. DJ's able to finish off by defusing that round, and whew, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea how MFC was able to get that diffuser down. There were no smokes, there was no, well, there was no nothing, no anything there to sort of deny Sleepy Gang from taking a challenge onto the diffuser that was going down. We just didn't see them respond appropriately within sort of the right time, and so the diffuser went down successfully. And we saw the post plant positions were as well really strong. Having a player positioned on 90, long range gunfight, you've got a 2x on that gun, you can generally do a pretty good job from that range. And then we had 2 players inside of Aqua, one on the balcony, one close to the bar. Again, very, very strong post-plant positions. We just saw the teamwork coming through from Sleepy Gang, and in fact, the man count as well. So we saw that double swing at the end, where, I mean, there were 2 players swinging the guy inside of Aqua, and 1 player trying to go for the defuse, forcing the player on Aqua to take a challenge. Your gun can only do so much damage. You've only got so many bullets. Sleepy Gang using that to their advantage and able to pull that round off. But again, every single round is either just sheer aggression going in favor of one team and it's over within a minute and a half, or it's an insane last second clutch.
Yeah, indeed. And you should not forget that LALOOSANCE is only 1 round away of match point, which is also then their, you know, match point for this semifinal of CCS and of the lower bracket. I mean, the pressure on Sleepy Gang shoulders is definitely there, and I don't think they want to give up here. And they're not looking as giving up, also starting off with an opening frag onto Mowgli, punishing him for what he did earlier in Oregon, to not give him any more chances here to pull off the same stuff.
But this is an Oregon, and Mowgli's really been lacking in the same regard. He's only going 2-7. We're seeing Majestics and MFC both on 6 kills apiece. Slaz has been getting a little bit of work done as he's on 3, but it's Blaz who Strong has just eliminated. He's been doing the majority of the heavy lifting for LALOOSANCE. 15 kills for Blaz, but he's going to be dead now, so won't be able to collect any more in this round. MFC, though, still alive and kicking and gets one, as the Slaz were back into even man count 3 versus 3. As LALOOSANCE, they now have Sunrise control, which is really important, being able to apply pressure onto the objective itself. Maestro cams, Evil Eyes, whatever you want to call them, still there to be dealt with, but we do see frag nades on the side of MFC to potentially get rid of them. Strong, though, still inside of this lobby, playing behind the desk. Majestic's unable to force him out, as he can't go for a swing without being caught out from bathroom, but as long as he's keeping Strong where he is, that's a lot of work done, as Majestic actually gets the kill onto Ace, and Slaz gets the kill onto Easy. It is just the Legion and MFC jumping over the bar. LALOOSANCE 3v5 into a 3v0. Are now on match point, series point, lower bracket finals point on map number 3 against Sleepy Gang.
The thing which surprises me most is, I mean, of course, you have to consider the roster changes on Sleepy Gang, but the way Sleepy Gang looks, you can rewatch past matches and you can count so well, or you can see so well how aggressive Sleepy Gang can play, but now with the new constellation, it doesn't seem to be working the same way. Of course, you still need to find the proper way to play. You still need to find, for example, the proper person to play entry frag, the proper person to play that certain spot you want them to play and whatnot. But this really hurts my eyes, because we both were going into this match thinking Sleepy Gang could win if they can pull off the same things as we did see from them last week. But we did not expect LALOOSANCE to be that terrifyingly aggressive. I mean, I feel kind of bad, because if you imagine the last time we casted LALOOSANCE, we also didn't believe that they could pull it off, but then they were also quite aggressive, not as aggressive as today, but then they also pulled it off, and today they're proving us wrong once again. They are fighting to get into the grand finals.
Yeah, and I mean, I think those roster changes are really affecting Sleepy Gang, although they're not affecting Dijou, as he's going to get the kill onto Slaz off of yet another spawn peak. I'm pretty sure we've seen a spawn peak or spawn peak attempt every single round here so far on Coastline. But, I mean, Mellow, through 7 maps, I mean, he was averaging over 10 kills per map, which is a huge amount of output for a single player to have, and there's a huge amount of fragging potential to lose, which is what Sleepy Gang are suffering from at the moment. And I mean, I think that might be just part of why we're seeing them struggle so much. I would have really loved to have seen Mellow and EIZ on Sleepy Gang today going up against LALOOSANCE like this, because I think that would have been basically what we're seeing, but with a lot more rounds going Sleepy Gang's way, and we might be seeing some overtimes and potentially even a map 5, because I don't want this game to end. This is one of the most exciting and exhilarating games of Siege I've ever been able to cast.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is something which a lot of people have been looking for. I mean, these are two French teams doing their standoff match against each other. From now on, only one more team can remain into CCS Season 5 and proceed to our grand final. So a lot of fans are looking forward to this. And Mowgli with another knife on this evening.
Yeah, almost getting caught out there potentially. I think there was a player over towards bathroom who seemed to be aware of him, but not gonna get him in that situation. Dijou, though, is gonna get the kill onto Majestic. He's staying aggressive. Easy tried to deal with MFC, who gets eliminated. So we're still in a 3v3. We saw LALOOSANCE in this position last time, and they were able to make it happen. Will they be able to do it for the game? And there goes NZT. Nice peek coming through. Blaz gets the kill onto Azen, and now it's all left up to Dijou. He's done so much for his team, but can he keep them alive? No, he can't. Blaz with the peek. LALOOSANCE winning this one. 7-3 on Coastline. 3-0 in this best of 5. Oh my goodness, LALOOSANCE, what a performance to now take them through to the grand finals next Tuesday up against Dead Inside.
And there you go. there you can see how successful